Live chat. Hello, friends. I'm answering emails. I have thoughts. You have to hear them. Because I'm not frustrated. I just need to make a point about why some things are the way they are in our hobby. So when some people find out I'm live, I'll talk about it. Because I'm going to ramble. Hi, Hunter. I'm going to ramble. I'm going to do a rant. I have a rant, a couple of rants. I have 3 rants. Remind me, because I'm going to forget, because I'm going to start ranting about one. I'm going to forget the other 2. So, algae, stocking, and balance. I'm going to rant about those 3 things. Which one do you guys want to start with? Because I got a rant for all 3 of those things right now. I'm answering customer emails. I'm not mad. Listen, I will never be mad about helping people with their aquariums. I will write you the longest email you've ever read because I'm going to help you understand why things aren't just clear cut. There's not just an answer. I can't just tell you yes, that will work. I can't do that. Or I can't just tell you no, that won't work. Or I can't tell you why it might not work or why it might work without explaining the hobby. So pick one. Algae, stocking, or balance. Gotti Guy's here. What's up? Fission Tactics is here. What's up? Notifications brought you back. Welcome back, Gotti Guy. I'm not the only one frustrated with the aquarium hobby tonight. What's wrong, Hunter? What happened? Because everyone in the hobby is crazy on one level or 93. Yeah, we're all crazy, but like the ones that get real into it, like the people that have 300 fish tanks in their house, the reason they have 300 fish tanks is, yes, they love the aquarium hobby, but our hobby is about research. Our hobby is about learning things you don't already know about things that exist or happen or reasons they happen on our planet. You're literally bringing a box of nature into your house and going, I want to see how nature works. That's what you're doing. All the way down to the base level of how water chemistry functions and keeps things alive. So it's not just, I like fish. It's, I like to watch nature happen. Does that make any sense? Am I making sense? I got 3 things. You guys got to pick. I haven't heard a pick yet. I got to answer this email here because I'm answering emails. Uh-oh, we got a betta who's not doing great. Okay, how do we fix this betta? And my cat's gonna yell at me. 5-gallon tank heater in my very cold old house. Okay. Okay. Now, what have y'all said? What's happening here? Sorry, I was answering an email. Oh, what happened with Hunter? Here he is. Balance. Oh, Dope Aquatics wants to start with balance. Okay. Hunter says, some people new to the area are trying to start an aquarium club and it's been less than 2 months and they've already made what might be the worst mistake of the area. I was so hopeful too. Oh, no. Hunter says backwards. Balance, stocking, algae. backyard bear. The favorite part, everyone does a million hours of research on a topic, then does it how they want anyway, regardless of what the research says. Correct. Because half the research is crap anyway. Right? She types fast too. Yeah, I type fast. Oh, what's up, Marvin's? Marvin's Loach Garden. Oh, okay. Yeah, I type super fast. This is a long email I'm gonna have to read here. Okay, so balance. We're gonna start with balance. So, literally everything is balance. Okay, everything you're doing in your aquarium is balance. I see so many people that email me and they say, my water's cloudy. I've done so many water changes. What do I do? I've got algae and it won't stop growing. What do I do? How do I stop it? All of that. So this algae and balance thing is going to go together. So we're going to go balance / algae rant here for a second. The reason your tank grows algae is because nature is a crazy, whatever. So nature saw the problem of ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, and increasing levels of nitrate being somewhat toxic, and decided, let's figure out how to deal with that in situations all across the board. So you've got a million different kinds of algae, right? Staghorn algae, blackbeard algae, slime algae, freaking all the string algae, hair algae, whatever. A million different types of algae. Because nature came up with a way to deal with imbalances of nutrients in any situation. Low flow situation, staghorn algae. High flow situation, blackbeard algae. Whatever. You got a sheet of glass, slime algae, whatever. Nature figured out a way to balance excesses of nutrients. So, whole bunch of fish show up in a pond. They live in there for the winter. We get a ton of light and there's not very much cloud coverage for a long time. You get a green water lake filled with algae. You take half of those fish out, let that system balance itself back out, or you throw a bunch of plants in, or whatever. Whatever you do to balance it. That's how nature balances it, okay? Nature uses water, water changes, and nature uses algae. So if you don't want algae to grow in your tank, why do we get rid of algae, right? What's the problem with algae? Why do we get rid of it? Because we don't like it, because we're like, it looks gross. Or because we want to see our fish, that's why we scrape the glass, right? It's all aesthetic reasons. It's not because the algae's doing anything bad. Now, get too much algae, it could choke out a plant that you've got in there, but that's because you're letting the algae win. You're letting that balance of power shift. It's all a balance of power. Just like plants play with each other with allelopathy. Okay, plants release different chemicals into the water, different plants, different chemicals, and they'll have wars. You can watch it happen in your tank. If you put two plants next to each other that don't like each other, somebody will win. Somebody will start growing algae, somebody will back somebody else off, this plant will die off. It happens all the time. That's half of what Diana Wallstead's book, The Ecology of the Planet Aquarium, is about. It's about allelopathy and how these plants work side by side. So let's say you set up a tank, right? You set up a tank and you go, okay, I want to have guppy grass and this Ludwigia, and I want to have this guppy, and I want to have this other fish, and maybe a betta, okay? So you say, I want to set that up. Well, maybe that stocking is not compatible with the allelopathy battle that's happening between the two different plants that you have, which is allowing the algae to get the upper hand, because neither one of those plants can take off, and there's enough nutrients in that system because of how many fish you put in it that something has to grow. And because the plants are fighting with each other, the algae gets the upper hand, because it will always get the upper hand if you let it. Now, I know people that run algae-scape tanks. Wink, wink. I run an algae-scape tank that has almost zero other plants in it. However, the plants that are in it, if I pull that algae out, they're fine. Because there's not an imbalance in there because the tank balanced itself out. That's why you'll hear veteran fish keepers tell you, I don't test my water. Because we can tell what's going on with our water because we've done it for so long without testing it. I can tell you if I've got a calcium deficiency by looking at my snail shells. I can tell you if I've got a potassium deficiency by looking at the new growth on my plants. I can tell you if my nitrate levels are too high. I don't ever think nitrate levels are too high. That's not a thing. I do water changes. So I mean, you just start to get a sense for it. You can almost smell it. And what people don't understand is you're never going to find a fix for that other than remove the algae, change up what you're doing with the plants, change how the flow is hit. You got to find it for your tank. There's not one answer. You can't say, I have staghorn algae, how do I get rid of it? Well, I need to know everything about your tank, because it depends. If the problem is because you don't have enough flow in one area of your tank and that's where the staghorn algae is growing, it's a flow thing. If the problem is that you keep feeding the food in one specific spot, if the problem is you've got two plants that are battling it out and the algae is taking a hold, there's a million factors. The problem might be that you're not doing enough water changes. Problem might be that you're doing too many water changes. It's just, you just have to be able to look at it and go, for right now, today, so if I look at a tank, you got to slow down and stop thinking there's a chemical that's going to fix it overnight, like a bacterial bloom. Let's say, oh, my water's cloudy all of a sudden. It's a bacterial bloom, right? You don't fix that by doing massive amounts of water changes. All that does is reset that bacterial bloom. It's just going to keep going and keep going and keep going until it finally balances itself out. If you just leave it alone, that will go away. So it all depends on the situation. You can't just say, I have cloudy water, how do I fix it? That's not how it works. But in order to explain that without sounding like I'm being mean, because I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to act mad or be upset, I'm not upset. I love explaining this, but I feel like nobody talks about it, about how there's no answers in our hobby. So let's say you come to me and you say, I want to keep Denison barbs with I don't know, pick a tetra, right? Like, I want to keep these two fish together, right? I can sit here and tell you all day long, yes, those fish are compatible. Because generally speaking, both those two fish might be pretty docile. Maybe they come from close to the same water parameters. I can make a guess. But there's literally never a situation where if a fish is hungry enough and the other thing fits in its mouth, that it's not going to eat it. Like, it's opportunity, it's nature. That's just what happens. You could get one betta that'll live in a community tank its whole life and never have a problem. And you can get another betta that's a stone cold killer. It even comes down to personalities, because nature doesn't work in absolutes. Nature does not work in this is how you do it and this is how you don't. It doesn't work that way. That's what I love about this hobby. Because you can literally do exactly the same thing that somebody else did, but because it's your water and not their water, it doesn't work. Or because it's your water and it's not their water, it does work. You could, it's insanity how the factors play out. So that puts me into the stocking question. So what's the question you always get asked by the person that sets up a new fish tank, right? The question is either, what fish should I get for my tank? Well, I don't know. That depends on what fish you want, the parameters of your tank, what your water is, what you want to see out of the tank. Are you looking for breeding? Are you looking for color? Are you looking for... I can't answer that question. And then the other question you get all the time is, I want to get this fish, this fish, this fish, and this fish, and I have this size tank. Is that okay? And how many can I get? Impossible question to answer. Impossible. And not because I don't want to tell you that those fish are compatible, because maybe they are. Even if they're not compatible, I'm going to give you the answer that maybe they are. For instance, when people ask me about the vampire crabs all the time, they're like, well, can I mix the species? Technically, you can mix the species. I don't generally recommend it because they're different species of crabs. Therefore, if they get territorial, they're going to go after the different species first. Now, if they get real territorial, they'll go after male versus female, male on male. They'll like, they're crabs. If you don't give them enough hiding places and they have a crabby day, maybe they're going to fight that dude over that bloodworm, or maybe they're going to fight that dude over that rock they want to hide behind. I don't know. But I can tell you that if you mix the species, the chance goes up exponentially, because then you're mixing things that don't normally mix in the wild, which is the same thing I tell people for community tanks. The good part, the fun part about building a community tank is slowly adding different species together that would not normally live together and making them balance out to where they cohabitate peacefully. Everybody eats, everything grows, things flourish, maybe even you get some breeding, right? That's what's cool about a community tank. You're never going to get a fish to act its normal way in a community tank because they don't normally do that. That's a saltwater thing. That's not our game, guys. Our fish in the wild, I mean, unless we're talking cichlids, and even then, they tend to stick with their own, our fish don't hang around with other fish. They hang around with themselves or alone. Like you, for instance, if you've got a 125-gallon tank with a ton of floating plants, you keep 5 male bettas together and they'll be fine. Because it's natural for them to occasionally see another betta out in some of those rice fields, flare at it, have a little bit of exercise, go back to their territory. However, I would never recommend somebody put a male betta with another male betta because I can't tell how you're going to set up your tank. There's too many factors. And the research is 90% of our hobby. So this is where I'm getting at with the stocking thing and why I hate answering that question, because I feel like not on purpose. People aren't doing it on purpose. But you're trying to bypass what's supposed to be the fun part. Because the fun part is the research. So if I just tell you that all that works and you do it and it doesn't work, you're just mad at me. But if I tell you this might work, look into these things, then instead of going, okay, well, Haley said that'd be okay, so it should be okay, you're going to look at yourself and you're going to go, you know what? I've done my research on this and I think it's going to be okay, so I'm going to try it, which is what I want to see people do. Does that make sense? Am I just ranting for no reason? Because I feel like I don't know. I just want people to be confident in their own information. And I want you to know, what's up, Diana Aquatics with the $5 super chat. I miss you, bro. I want people to understand that it's not just a recipe. There's not a recipe card that says this is what makes aquariums work. You're playing with nature. Nature doesn't have a rule book. She does what she wants to do. Sometimes she wants to send you a pea puffer that's super awesome, hangs out in your community tank, and sometimes she wants to send you a pea puffer that is an absolute little murder hornet and pecks on every single fish in the tank. You know, like, the reason to do it is to learn what boundaries you can push, what can you pull off, can I keep the, like, people, if I spelled out my Senegalese Bashir tank, like I put the parameters all on a list, right, of the stocking, what's in it, what's running on it, people would ream me upside down and the other, left, right, and the other, because they'd say there's no way that's going to work. It's overstocked, those fish are too big, they're not happy in there because they don't have enough room. However, I have 4 Senegalese Bashirs living in a 55-gallon right now, and they all get along happily, they don't bother each other, there's plants in there, there's no filter running on it, there's not an airline running on it, and it gets a water change once a week. And they breed. That should not be possible. People would not tell you that's possible. Because on the books, it's not possible. However, possible is bullcrap when it comes to nature. It's absolute malarkey. Nature is a crazy, crazy... There's a reason nature's a chick. There's a reason it's Mother Nature. Chick is crazy, vengeful, doesn't care, wants to see something crazy happen, also wants to see beautiful, awesome, amazing. It's what she does all day long. I was just talking to Lucas about this on the phone. You see a mink, right? And you're like, oh my God, that's the cutest thing ever. Look how beautiful it is. Look how elegantly it walks around. Cut to mink absolutely hunting down and mutilating a $2,000 koi. Nature is a crazy, crazy scoundrel. And she will wrap a serial killer in a cute little outfit and put it in your backyard. Because that's what she does. I'm going to check out the chat because I got to get back to these emails. I think that's the end of my rant. If I remember anything else, I'll let you know. I'm just over here ranting. Like Michael's fish room. Did y'all grab a snack and a healthy beverage? Some dogs don't get along with cats. Some dogs do, right? Like, and I can tell you all day long. They can tell you at the shelter all day long. Oh, you're here to adopt Spot? Well, Spot gets along with little kids and Spot gets along with cats. But guess what? Spot doesn't get along with your cat. And you didn't know, and you take Spot home, and Spot and your cat have a battle royale in your living room. It just happens. Nature's crazy. She doesn't care what you think. She does not care. Okay, what have I missed here? Einstein said it best, it's all relative, right? Right? Lumpy dog. Always a troll. I hear what you're saying, but can I keep my angelfish with my electric blue corrosive color? Yes. Yes, you can. Apparently I'm making sense to some people. What's up? What's up, fish people? I'm so glad Danikin's here. Backyard bear needs to calm down. Okay. I want to see this 125 gallon with nothing but 5 pettas in it, right? That'd be dope. You know what would be really good? 125 with like 2,000 auto sinkless. I really want to see somebody do an all auto sinkless tank. What you can do is very different from what you should do, right? Then you got to factor into all of that, everything is possible nonsense. You then have to factor in your morality. Because, let me tell you, a red-tailed catfish can eat a mouse. But depending on your morals, are you tossing a live mouse in your fish tank? So if somebody asks you the question, can you feed live mice to red-tailed catfish? Technically, yes. But should you? Some people would tell you should because that's a natural thing. If that actually fell into there in the wild, that they would eat it. Some people will tell you that it's a horrible thing and it's abuse. Everyone's different. Every fish tank is different. We are all snowflakes. Come with me, my little snowflakes, into the land of craziness where we play with nature like some kind of crazy psychopaths that are gluttons for punishment. How are you guys doing? Gluttons for punishment. Let me see if there's anything else in here I need to address. I had a friend that had a goldfish outlive the piranhas he had in the same tank, right? Weird stuff happens. Nature's unpredictable in the best and worst ways. Could not agree more. It's why I love her. Because if you're hanging out with nature 90% of your life, the other 10% where you're trying to keep your life on track, you'll understand that it's all chaos. Something could happen at any moment. You just got to be confident in your abilities as a human to handle any situation that the chaos throws at you. What's up, Scott's Aquatics? Also, factor in how much aquarium maintenance you're willing to do. Right. If you're not willing to do a water change once a week, you probably shouldn't have 1,000 guppies in a 40 gallon. On the flip side, if you're going to do 3 water changes a week, you put whatever you want in there. But I would recommend a very large bacterial colony if you're going to do that. Can you keep an arowana in a 40? Yes. For a short amount of time. That's the problem. I can tell you all day long. You can't keep that in that size tank because it's going to outgrow it. But technically, you can keep it in that size tank until it outgrows it. And even after it outgrows it, you can then go the abuse route and just let it stay in there for as long as you want to watch it get some kind of problem because it can't grow. It's all relative. It's all relative to your morals and how you want to deal with your life. Okay, what else have I missed? Did I miss anything else? If I missed something that you said that you thought was A, funny, B, important, please retype it because I have totally lost track of the chat. Yeah, nature doesn't care if your tank is pretty. She's not trying to make a showpiece. Nature's not trying to make a showpiece in your house. Nature's trying to keep everything alive. And if there's a bunch of ammonia in there, she's going to take care of that the only way she knows how. And if there's a bunch of nitrates and nitrites, or if there's a bunch of, if there's plants or no plants, she's going to figure it out. And she's going to do it without your help. Because she don't care what you're trying to do. Are you trying to build a cart? She's like, well, in this tank we're trying to build a carpet of plants, so I probably shouldn't dump all this diatom algae all over the place. Doesn't matter. To grab Haley's attention. Yeah. Grab it up. I'm on my phone. I don't know. I'm tired now. That was a long rant. I love my pretty tank. Don't we all love a pretty tank? What's this person's question? Blah, 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 blah. I don't want the nearite to get out competed. Sweet, hasn't lost any of those. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Pause for the email. You guys want to watch me answer another email? I'm gonna do it. Everybody wants to say hi to everyone. Someone do a roll call. Roll call? Or something. I don't know. Somebody say something to somebody. Tell them they're pretty. Have you told anyone they're pretty today? You should be telling people that they're pretty. Or handsome. Or awesome. Or amazing. Or that their fish tank's pretty even if you don't think it is. Because it's nice to tell people things that are nice. Because they like that. Also, use their name when they do it. You'd be impressed how many more people are nice to you and think that you're a nice person if you use their name when you talk to them. Because people like to hear their own name. That's a little trick I learned working in customer service. And it's not really a trick. I do it genuinely. What was I doing? Oh yeah, email. I can't spell, you guys. Cucumbers, go. See, that's the kind of things I recommend. You're going to email some people, and they're going to be like, pH up, pH down, this chemical, that chemical, biostart, bio whatever. You want to know what you're going to get when you email me, and you're like, my fish is sick, or my fish won't eat, or this, or that, or the other? You're going to get me recommending catappa leaves, vegetables, peas, salt, heat, natural remedies. Let's start there. Unless you can tell me exactly what's wrong or the illness that you're looking at, I'm not going to recommend a medication. Because even if you email me and you say, my fish have ick, I don't know that that's true. Because I don't know if y'all know this, but there are two different diseases that most commonly present in the aquarium hobby as white spots. And that is ick and epistolis. I'm going to go on another rant. Ick and epistolis, okay? Ick is perfectly round, perfectly white. It is a, think of it like a parasite, okay? Attaches to them. It kills very slowly. It has a life cycle that it has to get through. And you kill it with salt, heat, ick-X, methylene blue, whatever, meth green, whatever. Epistolis is a bacterial feeding infection that appears in white spots. They're much more patchy. They're not uniform all the time. And unlike ick, which usually will not appear on a fish's eyes, epistolis will appear on the fish's eyes. And epistolis kills faster than anything. It will wipe out a tank like that. If you have something in your tank that you think is ick, that is spreading fast enough to kill your fish within 24 hours, it's epistolis. And you don't treat it with heat or salt or ick-X. You treat it with antibiotics. Treat it with amoxicillin. You have to kill the bacteria. It's a totally different disease. But nobody talks about it. I've heard people use the word super ick. Oh, they got that super ick that you just can't cure. It just wipes them out immediately. That's not super ick. It's called epistolis. But nobody talks about it. They only talk about ick or white spot or fungal infections or mouth rot. There are other things that happen to fish. There are a lot of other things that happen to fish. People talk about TB. There are a million things that can happen. Epistolis is totally different from ick. So if you email me and you say, my fish have ick and they're dying, I'm generally going to email you back and go, are you sure it's ick? Please listen to these factors and tell me if you think it's ick, because what you should be doing is as much research as you can on the symptoms your fish is showing, because we're not fish vets. There are fish vets out there. They're not worried about your goldfish at home. So they're not writing books for us. They're writing books for aquariums. They're working on papers for that kind of stuff. We got to be our own research assistants. We got to be our own keyboard warriors. We got to go find that information. And the worst part about it is half the information you find is not going to be true, because there's nobody policing it either. There's nobody policing it, which means anybody can say anything they want, which is how it should be, because freedom of speech. However, that also means that just like with politics of the world or whatever your opinions are on anything, you have to look at what everybody's saying and decide what you believe. So when you first get that aquarium, you're going to look up, how many fish can I keep in my tank? And you're going to see everything from the 1-inch rule to calculators that are designed to tell you how many fish you can have and what stocking and all that. You're going to see all that stuff. And 90% of it is bull crap, because depending on how you're setting it up, it can be totally different. End rant. How many rants is that? What am I up to? 4? Awesome. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. 4 more emails. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more emails. 2 of them are for the same person. I gotta find out what that person wants. Okay, what have we said here? Zen Ginger. Zen Ginger's here, hello. Truth, I've never heard of that. In place of ick, yeah. Yeah. If it don't cure with salt, I don't cure it. Ooh, backyard bear. You want to rant? Customers who think ramshorn snails died in under 48 hours during mild winter twice demanded refund and leave negative feedback. I mean, people get mad. People think, you know. I try not to judge people. Even people that are, like, judgy themselves, There's got to be a reason. There's something that happened to them, something in their past that made them be the way that they are and have to lash out the way that they do. And I don't judge them for it. I just try to meet that with information. Like, if you send an email because you're mad about some fish you got that died or something that happened or whatever, I'm going to email you back and I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. This is how it is. This is how I'm going to help you. We don't have to be mad because I'm not just leaving you hanging out to dry. I would never do that. But you've got to understand that you got to give people a chance before you come at them. So I love dealing with angry people because you can yell at me all you want, but the only thing you're going to get from me is me trying to understand what you're saying and trying to figure out how we meet in the middle. Maybe both of us learn something about each other or both of us learn something about the world, whatever, but we're just going to talk it out. We can yell it out, I guess, if you want to. We can throw mud back and forth at each other, but at the end of the day, I'm going to shake your hand and hope that something from our interaction made some kind of impact on your life. Hunter says, when I first started, I learned from a really old book, salt water was 1 inch per 2 gallons and fresh water was 2 inches per 1 gallon. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. 2 inches per 1 gallon in a 10 gallon. So I can fit a 20-inch red-tailed catfish in a 10-gallon tank. That sounds right. That sounds right. Trial and error. That's our whole hobby. Rant out. Trial and error. Rant out. Mic drop. That's it. You just summed it all up. I didn't have to do 36 minutes. I could have just said, hey guys, you want to know what our hobby is? Trial and error. Boom. Literally every single subject matter. Trial and error. Balance. All of that. Griffin! Monster Fish Gals here. What's up? Shelby Ray! Years and years of keeping fish and never heard that. How do you treat it? Amoxicillin, general cure. An antibiotic. Some kind of antibiotic. Myosin, however you pronounce that. Any update on the rope fish? Nope, they're still in there. I still don't know what they're doing. Yeah, people don't care. It's the Wild West out there. It's the Wild West everywhere, man. And Ginger's like, and I've Googled a lot. I've never heard of that. I'm telling you, you got to get deep in Google sometimes. I feel like diseases aren't talked about as much as they should be. A lot of them aren't. Because, as I've said many times, there's always a medicine, there's always something. But generally, most things that go wrong can be treated with a water change, some kind of catappa leaf, good foods, and time. Nature is designed to fix itself. That's why we have immune systems. It's designed to be able to see a problem, send its defenses in, correct the problem, recognize the problem again next time it happens, be able to treat it. But like, this is what we do. Balance, balance, balance. I'm a woman, I don't do things that way. Well, what way? Balance? I'm a Libra, dude. My whole life is about balance. And what I've come to understand about balance is you're never balancing your world. You're balancing you. Just like you're balancing your fish tank. You gotta work on you. Because the world is chaos. It'll throw something at you when you least expect it every time and you have no idea what it is. It could be a snowball or it could be a tsunami. It could be your house burns down. It could be you win $1 million. The world is chaos. You have to be balanced and know that as a human being, there is nothing the world can throw at you that you cannot overcome, grow from, level up, and come out on the other side, maybe almost dead, but better, or at least alive. Or go out swinging. I'm getting real preachy now. Oh, Zen Ginger's a Scorpio. You don't understand. Y'all don't have balance. You get it from your fish tanks. It's fine, Zen. I still love you. fire knife is pain or relief, right? Oh, what else have I missed here? People don't care, Googling a lot. Thanks. Good, awesome. Got that. Yesterday, Haley couldn't spell graduate. Today, she R1, right? I did not graduate, so. Did somebody ask me how to spell epistolus earlier? I think it's EP. Hang on. Epistolus. EPISTYLUS. Outward sign of a serious bacterial infection. And the reason you treat it with an antibiotic is because it feeds on bacteria. There's always some inner working for it. It's the same reason your shipping bag becomes toxic as soon as you open it. Because that's how ammonia works in water that had a high oxygen content that now has a low oxygen, high dissolved carbon dioxide content, and now you re-expose it to air, and all of the ammonia in the bag is going to shift from, NH4 to NH3, which is toxic, and then your fish are going to go belly up. Which is why I always recommend the plop and drop method unless you're dealing with something super sensitive. If you're dealing with something super sensitive, give it a 20-minute drip. But if it's not super sensitive, temp acclimate and go, especially if it's been in shipping. If it hasn't been in shipping and you just picked it up from somewhere, whatever. But if it's been in that bag more than 24 hours, plop and drop. That's all I'm saying. Through every adversity, I can't say that tonight, I need some water, is a seed of equal or greater benefit. Hashtag preach. Preach. Zen says the only thing I drip anymore is shrimp. The only shrimp I would dip is anything in the Caradinia family. I totally understand balance and trying to deal with people with calm facts, but it doesn't always work, but I try. It doesn't always work. But that's because some people just want to watch the world burn, man. 90% of people are generally good people when you get down to the core of them. But that doesn't mean there's not still 10% of people out there that so much crap has just gone wrong in their life or in their head, and they just want to watch the world burn. That's all it is. They find comfort in other people's chaos. Some people are just like that. I don't like to judge them either, because something happened to make them that way. So I'm going to just tell them they got some nice shoes and move on with my life, because if they smile, so what? If not, I wasted 5 words. Yeah, those 10% are miserable human beings, and the worst part about it, the reason that I cannot judge them is because I guarantee you those are the people that never have one moment in their head of balance, of just, I'm not worried about anything, I'm not thinking about what anybody else has that I don't have, I'm not scared of blah blah blah, I don't feel angry at any, like, I bet you they never have one moment like that in their life, and that's sad. Because I feel like even if you're a super anxious person like I am, you should at least be able to find something, some 5 minutes of your life, even if it's dancing in your car with the music turned all the way up, which is how I live my life. Some point where your brain isn't screaming at you about all the things you can't do anything about. Or all the things that don't really matter. Because what really matters at the end of the day. Are the people you care about happy and healthy? Did you do all the things that you should have done or could have done throughout the day? That's about it. 10% of the way I keep fish works 100% of the time. Put that on a t-shirt. Release valve to neutral, right? Can't change them, move on. Oh, that's good. 10% of the way I keep fish works 100% of the time. Deep thoughts with the dragon. When you guys want to start doing this on Saturday nights? Just Haley rants about life in general. This is eventually what I'm going to try to turn this all into, is like some public speaking stuff. Because I feel like if more people in the world just had somebody look at them and go, you know all that stuff you're worrying about right now? It doesn't matter. I mean, at least doesn't matter right now. Like maybe it matters tomorrow, and so deal with it tomorrow. But can you do anything about it now? Like right now? No? Okay, then let's... What do you need? Like a glass of water? Like what are we doing right now? Need to clean a fish tank or watch a movie or... Because like right now is all that matters. Because if you can't pay that light bill today, there's no reason to worry about the fact that it's going to get shut off in a week. Worry about that tomorrow when you can go to work, make some money. Or if you're seriously sitting there freaking out about it, figure out how to make some money. There's never, I don't know, there's just never, just like with fish tanks, there's never a perfect answer. You just got to be confident that you got it. You just got to be confident that you got it. I got to get off of this, you guys. I'm just going to keep ranting. Deep thoughts with the dragon. I have balance. I do water changes standing on one foot. Yes. Fish keep me not the other way around. They keep me centered. They keep me focused. They keep me patient, right? Hunter, can we give you questions that a first-time keeper would ask and you tell us everything wrong with the question? I mean, go. I'll do like 2 of those. I think I just did that kind of. I don't know. Go, Hunter. Anything for you, my love. Dragon speaks on fire rants during water changes. Right. This has been your daily dose of the inner workings of my brain. I'm glad you needed to hear it, Shelby, because somebody needed to tell you. Do you also know that you're amazing? Because I don't think people tell each other that enough, too. Like, literally, if all you did today was get up and not die, that's an accomplishment. If all you did today was get up, walk to the couch, sit down, watch a movie, and that was the best you could do mentally, then that was the best you could do. Do more tomorrow. Like, you always gotta be pushing it further. Like, you can't just sit in that rut or whatever, but, like, sometimes you gotta spend a day on the couch. Sometimes you work your butt off for 72 hours, and sometimes you gotta spend a day on the couch. And you can't be mad at yourself the day that you spend on the couch. And not because I earned this day. Because sometimes you need a day on the couch whether you earned it or not. Yes, Backyard Bear, you get credit for that. Girl, yeah. Hunter. Well, I mean, it's the new Saturday Night Rant stream. I mean, yeah, if you guys want to submit some questions in the comments that you think are, like, normal, new fish keeper questions, and you want me to rant on them, or you just want to give me something in the aquarium hobby to rant about, go on ahead, because I'll figure it out. I'm not going to turn into Michael. Like, I'm not going to the forums and, like, losing my mind, because that's Michael's gig, and I like to watch him do that. But also, I mean, whatever. Yeah, see, Arcus is on her downtime for the day. That's what happens, see? Some people's downtime is like I read a book or I take a long bath with candles. Some people listen to fish people rant about nonsense on their YouTube channel because this is where our people are. And I'm sorry, but I love you guys and you're my people, so that's what I do. Balance, the world is chaos. All I can do is live my best life and try to be a good person, but the worries freak me out sometimes. That's what they do. They freak you out. And when you feel yourself getting in that, when you feel yourself like, oh my God, I can't deal with any of it anymore. It's too much. And then something else happens, like, Here's where I usually break. I'm trying to do a million things. I'm trying to get the house clean. My kid wants to play, and I want to play with her because that's the good part of life. But the dog wants to go outside, and there's still dishes in the sink. And here's what happens. I'll start doing the dishes, she'll come in. Mommy, can I play? Can I play? And then the dog will want to go out. And then instead of getting to the dog in time, the dog pees on the floor. So then I got to clean up dog pee off the floor. And also the kid still wants to play. And eventually I'm pulling my hair out going, I can't be in 16 places at once, because then she also wants chocolate milk. And Mommy, will you make popcorn? And also, and then work calls me and they're like, hey, we're getting a shipment at 3 o'clock. Like, the world is chaos. And you just got to take all those worries like, okay, I got to pay this light bill or they're going to turn it off. And you got to just go, I don't have the money to pay it right now. Maybe I'll think of a way to pay it tomorrow. If not, I'm going to try to focus on putting in more time at work. But I can't do anything about it right now. So then I'm going to worry about it. I'm going to do what I'm doing right now. What am I doing right now? Oh, I got to clean this. I got to do these dishes. I got to move. Like, you just have to keep going. Because whatever hits you, like, okay, so let's say you can't do anything about it and they do turn the lights off. You're also a human that's capable enough to deal with that. Because you know what the steps are you need to take to deal with that. Well, I need to be able to see in the dark. I need to make sure my house stays warm, or this or that or the other. Like, you just start working the problem. You just start working the problem. Because you're a competent human being that can handle any problem. And you got to know that about yourself. And then those worries, when they hit you, you recognize them just like red flags in a relationship. And you're like, nope, nope, nope. Hunter says, sometimes I wonder why you're not as big as the king of DIY. Because I don't make educational, very well done content. And then I realized that I really enjoy how personal you are. Yeah, I'm just always going to be me, Hunter. That's probably why. My people are few and far between. But I love y'all. And I would never trade you for 1 million subscribers ever. I would never change what I'm doing and how slapdash it is, because that's me, for 1 million subscribers. Now, am I doing a bunch of TikToks right now? Yes. Because it's hilarious. I'm cracking myself up. Plus, I really like to jam to music, so the fact that I can use music is cracking me up too. But I'm not doing it because I'm like, oh, this is a new avenue where I can gain more followers and people will like me. I'm doing it because it's absolutely hilarious. And I enjoy it. I will never change for that. I will always stay the same. Anywho, okay, what else? We got like a minute and a half here. I just curl up in a ball like a 4-year-old. Hey, sometimes you gotta curl up in a ball like a 4-year-old. I do that. My favorite fish chewer, thank you. Oh man, okay. Alright, I gotta make like 3 more phone calls and I gotta finish these last 4 emails before I absolutely rant myself into a hole. I love you guys. Are you guys gonna go live your best lives? Do you guys see that creepy panda thing in the over there? My kid got that for Christmas. It's a panda kangaroo. It has a kangaroo in its pouch. Oh yeah, check out the TikTok because that stuff's funny. Even if you're not like on TikTok, I'm trying to put them onto YouTube for the people that are like, I'm not downloading that freaking app because they're funny. And I'm laughing myself. It's cracking me up. Oh, I have personally autographed shoes from the King of DIY, and also, like, Joey's my buddy. I like to send him my TikToks to be like, is this funny? And he's like, that's hilarious. I'm like, I know, man. It's cracking me up. Me and Joey are similar Napoleon-esque brawlers. Love that guy. He's a pain in the butt. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I love him. And I wouldn't trade him or change him for the world. You went to meet Dustin, but your favorite moment was talking to me. Dustin's cool. I'm just real. I just keep it real. Dustin's got no time. Dustin's got no time for stuff. He's got time to be like, what up, fish tank people? I gotta go do 1 million more things. Same way I feel about Corey. When people meet Corey, If you meet him on the first day of a convention, you're like, he's the greatest. You meet him on the second day of a convention, and people are like, I start hearing people be like, Corey doesn't talk much, and I just wanna shake him. I'm like, he talks to everyone. I'm like, by the second day of the convention, he has lost his voice. If he said 5 words to you, he expended 90% of his energy, because the man will talk to you about anything, and he's amazing. But at some point, it kicks off, and you just can't talk anymore. Even if you try, you're just like So I always feel bad for Corey the second day, and I tell people, I'm like, dude, if he even said hello, that is a miracle, because the man, everyone just talks at him, and he keeps talking until he can't talk anymore, because he's a champion. Absolute champion. Download TikToks to YouTube. I'm doing it. There's already 2 compilations up. I gotta put another one up because I've done like 30 more TikToks. Yeah, I was sad Dustin wasn't at Dallas either. I don't know what he was doing. I always miss it when he's not there. I always look forward to seeing you, Hunter. That's the only reason I drive 14 hours to Dallas, just to see Hunter. He's my favorite. He's my favorite little pirate. Okay, alright, I gotta end this. I gotta finish these last 4 emails, and then I gotta go to bed, and I gotta answer like 5 messages that came through while I was doing all this ranting. I love you guys. Go live your best life. Check out the Christmas tree the kid made. Check that out. And live your best life, and I love you. And check out my TikToks if you want to laugh at my nonsense. I did some dancing. I hit the jerk. I learned how to jerk. It took me like 1,000,000 hours in my kitchen, but I did it. Peace out.